Hi, today I want to talk about one major lifestyle change that we all know about, but it's time that we start giving it a lot of importance if we want to start eradicating diabetes. I mean, instead of diabetes getting better, it's just getting worse and worse. In India, we currently have about 42 million people who have diabetes, and that number is expected to reach 90 million in the next 3 to 4 years. So definitely something's wrong. Although people are on medication, and let me make it very, very clear, there are many, many people who have diabetes. A certain type of diabetes, like type 1, they're born with it or they get it in their early years of life. And yes, we can't really say we can reverse that or heal that. But for everyone else where their lifestyle is the trigger point, where their lifestyle is the main cause of their diabetes, it is 100% possible to change that. It is 100% possible to heal. And no matter what people say, that no, you cannot reverse these diseases and conditions, you need to have faith in the human body and the intelligence and brilliance of the human body to heal it. It's designed to heal until we interfere with it. So am I trying to tell you get off your diabetic medications? Absolutely not. But I'm telling you to believe that you can, that most people are on diabetic medications and their sugar levels show great on their reports and they believe they're healthy, but they're not healthy because what's happening is their body's not producing insulin the right way or it's not using insulin the right way, and that doesn't make you healthy. That just makes your reports and your parameters and your medical records healthy. So the most complicated cases that come to me as a nutritionist are people who have diabetes, high blood pressure, and then we see that turning into kidney disease at a later stage. And you don't want to reach a point in your life, if you can prevent it, invest all the effort, everything that you can do to change your lifestyle and prevent it from getting to that. Everyone sees today, diabetes through a separate framework. You just look at diabetes as a disease. You look at heart and cardiovascular as a disease. You look at cancer as a disease. You look at liver and kidney as a separate disease. But no one's really looking at the fact that these are all interconnected with each other. After all, diabetes involves a hormone called insulin. People just think insulin is to do with diabetes, but insulin has so many functions in the human body. After all, it's a hormone. Any hormone has multiple functions that goes beyond just diabetes in the human body, right from storing fat, to using energy the right way. Insulin is so much more. So today, the first point, because it's time that we start looking at ways to eradicate this disease, which is just causing more and more complications in people's life. And as they age and as the body gets older and older, if you have these complications, it then usually ends up with the patient having to be on dialysis or some other treatment. And what's the point of living? We have to live with quality of life. We don't want extension of life with suffering. We want extension of life with quality, where you can live, enjoy your life with your loved ones. You worked so hard for so many years. You want to enjoy your life, your freedom. You don't want to be in and out of hospitals all the time unless you really, really need it. So the first point today, there's one point that I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to explain why it is so detrimental to your condition. This is for people who have diabetes. This is for people who want to prevent diabetes or any other disease for that matter. White bread. Now you'll say probably white bread, we grew up eating white bread. I grew up eating white bread. I didn't have diabetes. I don't have diabetes. My parents don't have diabetes. My family doesn't have diabetes. We grew up eating white bread. Many of you would have grown up eating white bread as well. But what's happened is the way we process flour has changed over the years to keep up with consumption, to cut down costs. All of these food companies have been changing the way white flour is made, and that's why we've seen an increase in diabetes now and not before, when our parents and our grandparents were eating white flour or eating foods which have white flour in. Let's understand this process very, very clearly, because it breaks my heart when I walk into hospitals and I see patients with diabetes been given 2 slices of white bread and butter and sometimes even jam for breakfast. And that's detrimental. You are never going to get cured. You're just going to get sicker and sicker, which is why we have to start taking our health in our own hands. When I say that, I don't mean don't listen to your doctors, don't get off your medication. I'm saying start making lifestyle changes. It's your body, it's your life. No one cares for it as much as you should. Let's understand white flour. Where does white flour come from? Wheat. When you have wheat, and now when they process it, they strip off the wheat kernel, they strip off the bran, they strip off the wheat germ. All of that has fiber, minerals, and vitamins, and you're left with wheat flour. Now that wheat flour is further processed with a chemical like chlorine bleach. Now that produces another chemical called alloxin, Alloxan. Remember this if you know anyone who has diabetes, if you're suffering from it. Now what does alloxin do in the human body? It messes up your pancreas. What is the function of the pancreas in the human body? To produce insulin. Okay, and here we are depending on insulin in the form of tablets and medication and injections and all of that stuff. Yeah, if it's needed, you need it. But what's causing your diabetes in the first place? Why are your pancreas not functioning the right way? And that's the same question I posted on Facebook last night. How do you make a rat get diabetes? Now, why do we need a rat to have diabetes? Because that's where pharmaceuticals and researchers test their drugs. If you have a drug and you need to get it approved by the FDA to show that it helps with diabetes, who do you test it on? You test it on mice and rats that have diabetes. Now, you're not just going to find a rat or a mice that has diabetes. You got to induce diabetes in the rat. And how do you do it? They induce it with that same chemical substance called alloxin. So it messes up the pancreas of the rat gets diabetes. Now you do the math, you do the analogy, and you check what happens when we put that same chemical in our white bread, which is found in all of the white bread today available commercially. We put that in our body, in a body which is already diseased, and we further destroy our pancreas, which is why you're always told that once you're on medication for diabetes, it's a lifetime. You got to be on it for a lifetime, because it's never going to heal you unless you heal your pancreas. And how do you heal your pancreas? Yes, the medicine will help. It's a crutch for you to get better. But what's going to help you more than anything is avoiding the foods that are destroying your pancreas. Number 1, white bread. Number 2, white sugar. Number 3, white processed salt. Because all of these use chemicals very similar to chlorine bleach. They're bleached. That's how on many food labels you'll see bleached white flour, you'll see enriched white flour, you'll see all-purpose flour. And we go on eating this white bread and we're just destroying our bodies over and over again. So today I can promise you, people who have diabetes, just give up. Get off your white bread for a couple of weeks and check your sugar levels and see how they improve. It is going to improve 100%. I say a couple of weeks because your pancreas have to repair if they're not already damaged. And you have to allow the human body to kick in and use its intelligence to repair itself. So now think of a cookie, think of a commercially prepared bakery product. It's got white flour, it's got white sugar, and it's got white salt. That becomes a diabetic bomb. And yep, you have to look at healthier versions of it. You know, today even wheat bread, I don't really support wheat bread so much because it's got its own allergens in, it's got its own, lectins in that create gut issues and everything. I mean, if you have the ability, you live in India, you have the ability to make your own Indian bread, which is nothing but a chapati or a roti or something like that, where you have control over the ingredients that you use. That honestly is the safest way to make that transition. And yet so many people are addicted to bread and they say, we can't give up bread. Yeah, you can't give up bread because you're addicted to the ingredients in it, salt and sugar. And then, of course, it digests so quickly that it wreaks havoc with your hormones and your blood sugar levels. And an hour later, you're hungry again. Now, at the most, if you have to eat that white bread, sometimes you're in a place where your only option is a white bread sandwich. Make sure that you fill it up with a lot of vegetables so that you're getting some fiber, some vitamins, some minerals, some enzymes from that vegetables to combine with white flour. Because what happens when you eat something like white flour? It's got zero nutritional properties. So what happens is it's got no enzymes to help it digest. It's got no vitamins, no fiber, no minerals. So that has to make your body's digestive system secrete more and more enzymes, and it becomes an oxidative burden on your digestive system and your pancreas. So if you're in a place where you have to eat white bread, make sure you have a lot of vegetables with it or something that has fiber if you have to. But for people who have diabetes, this is one lifestyle change that you can and you should make if you want to get better and if you want to make your condition better. And people who want to prevent a disease, start moving away. These foods are highly processed. The human body doesn't know how to handle them. You got to make that effort to start moving back to whole foods. I know it's convenient, it's fast, it's quick, it's economical, but that's why it's an industry, and that's why these industries are killing us day by day by feeding us poisons and everything else. So that's a lifestyle change that you got to make. Until next time, eat smart, move more, sleep right, and breathe deep. And remember, all of you have that one button. It's called a reset button. You got to wake up, hit that reset button, and start making those lifestyle changes. Have a good evening, everyone.